But to be mindful of time, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So just a reminder, on Zoom, you guys have the ability to keep your cameras on, off, whatever works best for you, whatever you're most comfortable with. I'm going to spotlight my video for you all, so hopefully you can see me better. If that doesn't work, remember that you can always pin my video so that it shows up bigger on your screen. I will not be playing music for today's Pilates class, but you are more than welcome. Since you're all muted, you could play your own music in the background, whatever brings you joy, whatever's going to help you move for the next 45 minutes. And I'm trying to think of any other announcements. We want to make sure that we have some sort of cushioned surface, whether it be blanket, towel, carpet, or our mat below ourselves. And we're just going to relax and get some movement in at this midpoint in the week. We are going to do some hip mobility today, so opening up those hips as much as possible. We'll probably do that somewhere in the middle of class, so I'll interrupt our normal Pilates sequence to do some hip mobility. That'll hopefully relieve any tightness that you feel there in the hips or the low back. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday. We're starting seated on those bottoms. Hands come behind our hamstrings. Nice tall spine. Breathing gently. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. If you have some sort of device that you keep your fitness trackers on, you can start that now. Again, we're just breathing simply in through the nose, out through the mouth. Beginning to create a bit more space between each vertebra as we inhale, lift up, exhale, round through the spine. Feel those shoulders pull away from one another. Inhale, lift up. Exhaling, we round, just scooping through that pelvis. Feel those shoulder blades pull apart, opening up through the chest as we inhale and exhale. One more time. Big inhale, reach those sits bones into the mat. Exhaling, we round, holding it here with the pelvis scooped under. Allow the left hand to come away from the thighs. And then the right hand, lower down one bone at a time, reconnecting with our mat. Head and shoulders release. We go into rib cage arms, inhaling those arms overhead. Exhale, bring the arms right back down. I always find myself too high on my mat, so I'll adjust here. Just keeping that simple rib cage breath with every inhale. We're going to feel those ribs reaching out in the most expansive way. On our exhale, we feel the ribs pull back in towards our spine. Nice, slow and controlled breathing that flows in with our breath and our movement. Inhale, reach, exhale, back down. On this next one, as we exhale, can we nod the chin forward, lifting head and shoulder blades off of the mat? Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, nod the chin, lift it up, feel the belly engage, and release. Good, one more time. Exhale, hands come down by our sides, moving into hundreds. We pump those arms in the most vigorous way possible. Inhaling for a count of 5 breaths. Exhaling for a count of 5 breaths. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yes, you want to hear your own breath here. Nice, strong, stable core. We could even stack those knees right over the hips, finding tabletop. That's a little added core challenge for ourselves, but we're more than halfway through our hundreds. So keep it going. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. At any point, head and shoulder blades could come down to the mat. We have our last one here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently release one foot to the floor and then the other. Arms reach all the way overhead. We exhale, rolling ourselves up Hands find the thighs. We lift up into a seated position. Roll yourselves back down. If we like our roll up right here, continuing that same sequence, lifting up, we can stay there. If we're ready for a little bit more or want to take it to a little different feel, especially for our hip flexors, we can extend those legs all the way across the mat, reach over the thighs, and then roll down bone by bone by bone. Big inhale. Exhale, lift it up, roll over the thighs. Keep those heels connected. Lower down. And keep moving. As you all continue through that roll up, I'm going to check in on our participation. I saw a few more people join us today. Hello, everyone. I'll get you checked in. Keep your breath. Keep your spinal mobility. And I know that core is starting to feel the work. All right, one more time. Roll it up. And release down. Bone by bone by bone. Hands come down by our sides. Right leg elevates. We start to mobilize through that right hip. Okay, so our pelvis is steady. Core is nice and strong, but we do have mobility happening at the hip socket. Toe is pointed. Nice long straight leg. 2 and 1. Reverse it. Take it in the opposite direction for those leg circles. 3, 2, and last one. As that leg comes to the top, release it right back down. Left leg elevates and we circle around. Good. You're taking these at your own pace. Maybe it falls in with your breath. 2, last one. Reverse the direction of those leg circles. I decided to go with like a medium-sized circle today for myself. You could have chosen small or large, but we have 3, 2, last one, around and up. Leg comes down, moving right along. We slide those feet in towards our bottoms, hands right by our sides. Activate through your glutes and then press the hips up into a bridge. Good, lower down. Our eye gaze stays reaching up towards the ceiling. All 10 toes are pressing into the mat. We lift and lower. Can we keep some space between our chin and the chest below? Belly still strong. Up and down. 3 more times. Lift up and lower. 2. Final time. Hips stay lifted and isometric hold here. With those heels and toes grounded into the mat, can you shift your weight into your right heel? Good. From there, allow the left leg to stack up into bridge marching. We lower that leg. Left leg lifts. Good. So we're alternating which leg is lifting and lowering. Up and down. Final time on each side. Right leg lifts. As it reconnects, bring those hips down to the mat and allow your knees to gently sway from side to side. Just opening up through those hips, through the low back. Maybe even taking this opportunity to breathe slower. All right, from here, moving right into our Pilates 5 ab series. We start by bringing the left knee into the chest. Hands find the shin bone. Outside hand to the ankle, inside hand to the knee. Head and shoulder blades lift off of the mat. Reach that right toe out for the wall in front of you. Extend and switch for single bent leg stretch. Oh yeah, that's a mouthful. Extend and switch. Option to bend the knee and tap your toes down to the floor. Other options include reaching our head back down towards the mat. You're still going to get great core work here. All right, so find the option that feels right for your body today. Inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. One more on either side. And both knees fall into the chest for double leg stretch. Hands and feet reach up to the ceiling. Sweep the arms around, hug those knees in tight. Out and in. Now, while we do this, can we keep those toes connected? Toes all the way to the knees and the inner thighs. We've got that engagement. Final time. And release both feet to the ceiling. Let one hand find your calf muscle. The other leg lowers to the mat and we switch. Oh yeah, my hamstrings are really tight today. I can feel it. Switch and switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. One more on either side. As we bring those feet back together, hands can come behind the base of the skull or down by our sides for leg lower and lift. Try not to dome through that belly. Keep your low back pressing into the mat. If that means taking a slight bend in those knees, great. We're still hinging at the hips to feel this work through the transverse abdominal area. We do 2. And one more time, lower. And lift, stack those knees right over the hips. Hands come back to the base of the skull for crisscross. Opposite shoulder to opposite knee. Twist and switch. Last one on either side. Bring it back to center. Both feet reconnect, hands out wide. Reach the knees over to the left side of the body. Good. And the knees lift up and over, other side. Very good. As we lift back up, we can move right along. Right knee into the chest. We'll lift ourselves up into a seated position. I like to call it the L-sit. From that L-sit position, hands slide right in front of the chest. For spine stretch forward, we'll roll the forehead down to our knees, big rainbow over the thighs, and then stack it back up one vertebra at a time. Inhale at the top, exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, exhale, roll it back up. I always like to remind my classes that this is not just a hamstring stretch. This is really meant for our spine. So the more you can imagine your chest rounding over the thighs and targeting your forehead for those knees, the more work you'll get through those muscles along the spine. And work might not be the right word. What I mean is stretch. Last time, roll down. Lift it back up. Now that same spinal articulation comes into play for soft. I'm going to switch and face you all. All right, feet come apart about hip distance. We rotate through our torso, roll down, reach for that pinky toe, lift up, rotate, roll down, reach for the other side, lift back up one bone at a time, rotate, and reach. I love that I have a cat right behind me. They're so happy I came home to teach this class today. It was either this or try to fit in my office. And I have a really small office where I couldn't get the camera angle to work for you all. So they lucked out today when they get to see me. Last one, roll it forward. Lift it up, hands come down, beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna flip back around. Our hands are behind us. I want us to open up through the chest. If that means coming down to our elbows, yeah, the chest elevates. And we feel a nice expansive stretch through the front of our body here. Spine is still long. Good. All right, kick that right foot up. Bring it down. Left foot kicks up and down. So we point as we lift, flex as we lower. Keep that spine lifted, core is strong. Last one. And release. Good. If you like that, I want us to stay there. Otherwise, we come up to those hands, lift the hips. It's called leg pull back. Kick the leg up. come down. Leg pull up, come down. Oh yeah, my hips are sinking. We'll work on it. Last one, up and down. Yeah, ideally we want our hips here. I'm not there yet today, and that's okay. As we sit back up nice and long, reach for those toes. And lift back up. All right. As we flip onto our sides, we'll move into our side lying work. So align your spine with the back edge of your mat. Feet come forward to the front corner. So we've got a slight angle in our body. Hips and shoulders stacked. That top leg starts to lift and lower. Good. Now from here, can we start to pay some special attention to what our upper body and our torso is doing? I'm a little crammed up into my shoulders, so I'm going to relax and find some more space. I'll start to feel that core engage and draw itself in towards the spine, which then lifts me up through the side body. We'll do 3, 2, and 1 more leg lift. Hold that top leg lifted, pulse it towards the ceiling for 3, 2, and 1. The toe points, we circle that leg forward. Every circle, let your inner thighs brush together. 2, 1, reverse it, opposite direction. 3, 2, 1. As that leg lifts, we flex the foot forward. Point the toe back for our leg kick. Forward, kick back. Now, that bottom leg will probably want to lift up off of the mat. Don't let it. Keep it glued down. That is your stability. Kick forward, kick back. Last one. Hold the leg back, tap it down, lift it up, lower, and lift. We'll do 3, 2, and 1 more. Lower, lift, bend that knee forward. Give yourself some myofascial release. All right, we're going to the bottom leg. In order to do that, this top knee needs to be lifted off of the mat. So I know I've got all black on again today, but we've got space between our knee and the floor below. That knee is in line with our top hip so that that bottom leg can lift and lower while our spine is in a long neutral position. Again, reassess. Can you get the core to really be part of this movement? 3, 2, and 1. Hold that foot lifted, pulse it to the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Circle the leg forward. 3, 2, 1, and reverse it, opposite direction. 3, 2, 1, release. Both feet come back out on top. We're going to lift ourselves up onto that elbow. We've got space between our ear and the shoulder. Go ahead, bend those knees in and lift the hips up. I should have worn different colors today. Or I think I told you guys, I really need to just get a mat that's not black because all of my clothes are really dark. All right, so we're in our side plank here. We've got space between our ear and our shoulder. We're really stabilizing through that shoulder and starting to work through our obliques, holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips come down, externally rotate through the hip. So you can even bring your knees forward a little bit if that feels right for you. Heels and toes together. We're still lifted through this side body. Core is still strong. Externally rotate. Press your knee back behind you. Come back in for 2. And 1 more time. Hold it back. Pulse it for 3, 2, 1, and close. Press it back. 3, 2, 1. Bring it down 1 more time. 3, 2, 1. Come down. Lift yourselves up and fold over for that side body stretch. Good. All right, come around. Sweep your feet to the other side. We once again align our spine with the back edge of our mat. Palm down, shoulders and hips stacked. That top leg begins to move. I really like to use this top arm in front of my belly to help stabilize. So if that works for you, fantastic. Up and down we go. That leg lift doesn't have to be super high. We know we've got that angle in our body 2, and 1. Hold that leg lifted, pulse it to the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Point the toes, circle that leg forward, brush those inner thighs together with every circle. 2, 1, reverse it, opposite direction. 3, 2, 1, hold it lifted. Where are we headed next? We or flex the foot forward, my bad, and point the toe back for those kicks. Oh, of course, I'm going to have a cat go right in the middle of my screen. Guys, the wonders of technology and being able to do it from home. It may or may not happen again, but we're still kicking forward and back. Kick forward, kick back. Last one, kick forward, kick back, hold the leg behind you, tap the toes down and lift it up. Good. Do you still need that arm to help you stabilize? Perhaps. It could come in handy. We've got 2 more. Last one, hold it lifted, bring the knee in, give yourself that myofascial release. Good. All right, knee stays lifted off of the mat. Remember, you've got that space here, hips and shoulders still stacked as we go to the bottom leg, working through those adductors and our inner thighs. 3, 2, last one, hold that leg lifted, pulse it up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse your circles, taking those circles back. 3, 2, 1. Take it the opposite direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Very good. From here, those legs slide one on top of the other. We're going to lift up onto that elbow, come into your side plank when you're ready. Knees bend, the hips lift. Good. So we stabilize through that shoulder, long neutral spine here. We feel those obliques working. Hold it, but don't hold your breath. We want to keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Hips come down, shoulder continues to stabilize. Knees slide forward for that external rotation at the hips. Press the knee back, bring it back gently. All the while, we have connection at our heels and toes. 2. One more time. Don't forget, we have those pulses. So we press the leg back, pulse it for 3, 2, 1, and reconnect. Press it, 3, 2, 1, and back down. 3, 2, 1. Can we do that one more time? Press it, pulse, pulse, pulse. Back together. Lift yourselves up into that side body stretch. Oh my goodness. My obliques needed that. Good. All right. Bring those arms up and over. We kind of do a little cartwheel there as we shift into quadruped. So we want those hands right under our shoulder. Shift to where your knees are right under your hips. I really should have thought about my attire for today. See, that's so much better. We'll just slide off of the mat for a moment. All right. Knees right below our hips. We round through the spine. And then drop the belly through. Moving through cat and cow. As the belly drops, our sits bones reach for the ceiling. And our eyes look to the baseboards. As we round, let your eye gaze find itself towards your belly button. Continue to move through cat and cow at your own pace. I'll once again check our participation. Wonderful. All right, last time for cat and cow. As you round that spine up and then drop the sternum through, find a neutral spine. We slide the right arm forward for a little spinal balance, and the right leg reaches back and then lifts up. So opposite hand, opposite leg, reaching for opposite walls. Come back down. Left arm slides forward. Right leg slides back, and then feel the glute engage as it lifts up off the mat. And come back down. Can we continue that? Opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching for opposite walls. And then switch over to the other side. We want that glute to engage here. So feel it fire and back down. Last one. From here, I'm going to rotate towards you all. And if this is more comfortable for you to rotate on your mat, feel free to take a minute to just roll out through your wrists. We're about to do that pelvic floor and hip mobility work. So we're transitioning into that for a moment. We are going to be on those wrists. So at any point you start to feel fatigued in your wrist, come up, roll them out, or take it to a fist where you have a neutral wrist as opposed to here where we're putting all that pressure there. So that's our option. We are taking it so that our knees, again, I should try this without a black mat. You may be able to see better. All right, there we go. All right, so our knees are a little bit wider than our hips. They don't have to be super wide. So find that mobility that feels right for you. From here, the toes are tucked under, okay? And we're sending our hands right in front of us, right under our shoulders, okay? So kind of like quadruped, but our legs are a little bit further apart. From here, we're shifting forward about 2 inches, and then I want you to sink your hips back towards your heels. They don't have to go all the way back, but we're shifting forward and shifting back. We're going to do this about 5 to 6 times at your own pace. Again, it's nice to have your mat or some sort of cushion under your knees for this, because I know being on your knees for this long doesn't feel comfortable for me at all times. We'll do 2 more. Hopefully you're starting to feel that opening up through the hips. Last one, slide forward and back. Beautiful. Stay right where you are. From this position, we're taking that right leg out to our side. It's going to feel a little funky, but we're doing that same movement, just gently rocking forward and back. It may not be the biggest movement. I'll show you what it looks like from the side. Even if it's just here to here, we're working on finding some mobility and stretching through those adductors, those inner thighs, which will then help release some tension we're holding on to in our hips and the low back. 2. Good. And 1 more. Back and forward. As that leg comes back in, we switch to the other side. Left leg extends out. Shift your hips back and lower. You may immediately notice a huge difference from one side to the other. My left leg, very tight. This feels very restrictive. So I'm not sending my hips back quite as far as I was on the other side, and that's okay. So it's smart of us to listen to our bodies and what feels right. 2. And 1 more, press back. Release. Good. Now everyone take a moment here. Just roll out your wrists. Give them a little break. Yeah. Big inhale. Sweep the arms overhead. And exhale. Shake out those arms. Okay. We're going back to quadruped. This time, from that position, we're going to take the right leg back behind us. And we're going to let it slide back so that we can come down into a pigeon pose. So essentially, I wonder if I can make this look a little different from here. We're here. We've taken that leg back behind us. We're relaxing into this nice piriformis stretch. And we're actually using our body weight to our advantage to sink in and allow the stretch to happen. We can also do this stretch from a seated position. We can do it standing or in a chair. I typically find this to be a way to get a deeper stretch because we're using our body weight to our advantage, but there are lots of ways we can stretch through our outer thigh and piriformis. Take an inhale, exhale, lift yourselves back up. Now, can we go to the other side? That back leg pulls in, we reassess, good. And then slide the opposite leg behind us, sinking down, maybe coming to those elbows if it feels helpful for us, and breathe. Sometimes that's the most we can do, to just breathe into the stretch. Three, two, and one. Lift yourselves back up. Very good. All right, come back onto that mat. Hopefully you're not like me and you stayed on your mat the whole time. I'm going to come back to my mat and we're laying it all the way down on our bellies. All right, from here, hands are right under our shoulders. Tops of our feet stay connected with the mat. For spinal extension, we're lifting the chest off of the mat and lowering back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. We want that posterior chain to work here, so keep your eye gaze looking down towards the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We'll do 4, 3. Don't let the tops of those feet lift. You've got 2. And one more time. Lift, lift, lift. As we lower, hands right under the shoulders, elbows reaching towards the ceiling like grasshopper wings. We press up for that full extension. Use your arm strength to lower yourselves back down. Inhale. And exhale, lift, lift, lift. Imagining that you had a belt buckle on today. That area would stay connected with the floor while you press up with your arms. Last time, all of that weight and energy in the arms. And release. Good. Can we take one hand on top of the other? Our forehead then comes down on the backs of those hands. Lift your right foot off of the mat, but feel your glute engaged to do so. Lower it down. Left leg lifts up and releases. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Alternating sides, right and then left. On this next one, we're going to add to it. So instead of lifting straight up, we're only lifting up. We're going to take that leg up, slide it out to the diagonal, come back in, lower. Let's try it on the left side. Lift up, slide the leg out, in, and down. Last one, up, out, in, and lower. Bring those hands back under the shoulders. Can you press yourselves up into your favorite push-up position? Can be from your knees, from your toes, whatever works for you. Let's do 5 push-ups. We'll lower down and lift. Take these at your own pace. No rush. They can be slow. If you already knocked them all out, that's great. But as soon as you're done with your 5 push-ups, take those knees wide, toes together, and sink yourselves back into rest pose. Finding a moment to just roll out through the wrists, wiggle those fingers around, and breathe. All right, right hand is going to thread through the window that your left arm just created. A little stretch there for the back and shoulder. Don't you worry, we are not done yet. We have our final Pilates ab blast coming up. Left hand threads through the window that our left arm creates. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, release. And roll the spine up and the shoulders come back. All right, bring those feet around so that we're on those bottoms. Before the freeze and before I got sick last week, we were working on our teasers. So we're going back to that. Now, we start in our seated position. You're like, I don't remember these. That's okay. We're going to all do them together today. All right. When you're ready, hands come away from the backs of those thighs. Can you roll down with intention through the spine? Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, come up quick. Yes. Roll down. Inhale. Exhale. Lift up nice and strong. Inhale through the nose. Lower, lower. And lift. We've got 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Final time. Roll down, roll down. Spring up, hold it. All right. You want to do some single leg work? Reach the knees together. Lift the right leg. Roll down. Spring up, reach for your toes. 1 more on this side. Roll down. Spring up, hold. Switch legs. Left leg lifts. We've got 2 on this side. Roll down. Spring up. Oh, I know we're fatigued. Last one. Reach for the toes and come down. Fantastic. All right, everyone lay it down on those backs. Bring the knees into the chest. Our final stretching is here. We'll start by just rocking from side to side. When we're ready, extend the left leg all the way across the mat. Keeping that right knee at the chest, we'll roll out through the ankle. And in our own time, we'll start to send that right foot all the way to the ceiling, pointing and flexing through our right foot here. That'll help us stretch through that hamstring. From there, take a slight bend in that right knee. Allow the leg to come all the way across the body for our rotational stretch, both shoulders reaching into the mat. And then allowing both of those hips to come down, we'll cross our right ankle over the left knee for our figure 4 stretch. This is one way that you could stretch through that piriformis and outer thigh from a laying or even a seated position. All right, let's switch legs. Right leg extends out, left knee comes in. Kind of say hi to everybody. You decided to be on screen today, buddy. When you're ready, send that left foot up to the ceiling, pointing and flexing through the foot. All right, take a slight bend in the knee. Allow the leg to come all the way across the body for that rotational figure T stretch. In your own time, both hips come back to the mat. Take that ankle over the knee. Find your figure 4 stretch here on this side. From there, we'll bring that knee into the chest. Use it as leverage to lift yourselves up 1 vertebra at a time. And can we come all the way up and over onto our toes? Once we come onto those toes in this little kneeling, crouching position, we'll get a stretch through our calf muscles and then press the hips all the way to the ceiling, coming into forward fold. We can even alternate knee bends here. Find a big inhale, exhale, slowly stack your spine all the way up. From there, roll your shoulders back. And then we'll find a big inhale, sweep the arms overhead, exhale, arms down. 1 more time, breathe in. Wonderful job today, you all. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. I'm so happy to be back. Fingers crossed. No more illnesses, no more freezes, and we can continue to be consistent with our Wednesday class. Otherwise, have a great week, and I'll see you all next week. Take care.